episode of the Electric Norwegian. It's a terrible weather today, so I'll take the intro inside. Today we're inside of a, it's a Porsche. It's not mine. And it has four-wheel drive, and it's a station wagon. Like I said, welcome to another episode of the Electric Norwegian. I'm Mats. This time we're in a facelifted Porsche Taycan 4, not an S. I think it's just a 4. And well, considering the weather today and the snow and the sleet and the ice, that's just as well. Actually, it looks fab, and this is just fabulous. It's not the biggest car in the world. It's long, but I always got the impression that got the some space down here. Got some space down here as well. And let's see, a bit of space, just a little bit. They've got the interior design of a Jaguar, really, because considering the size of the thing, there's really not much space inside it. Like if I, for instance, were to get a used one of these and take it to the continent, you can't really fit a very long-legged teenager back here, because there's literally almost no space for your knees. There is space for your feet, mind you. They've really done a good job there. And plenty of space to the head. There's a screen back here for your 4-zone climate controls. Everything feels, you have this, not, you have to go through a kind of a point here. It all feels well put together, high quality, everything. There's a few cheap things we'll get to when we get in the front, which is very spacious. Well, it's not spacious as such. There's absolutely no space for stuff in this car. Door pockets are small. The storage under here is crap. Storage in the front below the screen it's there, but it's not much. But the seating position and the leg room and the just driving position of this car, it's just Porsche. They really know what they do. Of course, when I first gotten in here, like I said, there's not much space here, but you sit okay. You have space still. It's a pure 4-seater, of course. It's alright, and then you have the. You sort of have to have the station wagon, because in the saloon, the roofline makes. Well, if you're older than 12, you're not a small Latino or Asian boy, sorry, but you know, if you're not a tall Viking, you don't fit in the back seat of a Taycan saloon. It's like a BMW i4 in that regard. There's no space in the back at all. In here, because of the space in the battery pack that is made for my feet, I actually sit perfectly okay, even though there's no lateral space. And as such, the thigh support is kind of crap. That's like in the Model S, that's like in many other cars. There's absolutely no space in the seat pockets. It's literally nothing. I think maybe you can fit a letter here, and you can fit maybe a can of soda down here, probably, but nothing more, nothing else, nothing at all. And the door opening is, well, you have to get out and then you have to get over this sill that's pretty deep. And, latch points, pretty solid ones too, that's good. So here we are then. The door opening is, well, that's the B pillar, kind of. And this is, you have to kind of get the easy entry setting, otherwise you won't get anywhere out of this car once you've gotten into it. This is okay. This is probably the only cheap feeling surface. Everything else is leather covered. This is probably just leather covered plastic, which doesn't really feel all that quality, to be honest. This is good. This is softly padded. Screen looks good. There's a slight delay on it, but it's okay, it's there. Then you have the passenger screen, which in here you don't see it, so it doesn't bother you. But in the new Audi A5, for instance, it just looks cheap and tacky. And the seats, these are probably just the standard seats, but they're really, really comfortable. 18-way electric adjustable, really comfortable. Like I said, not much space there. And down there, this is your phone charger, and you have 12-volt outlet and some storage. Cup holder with a nice light in it as well. And here's your screen for your handwriting recognition, heated seats, and your HVAC. And this is also a quick menu to this big screen. Takes you into all kinds of things. Your trips, among other things. Since charging, we've had an average of 262 watt hours, which is, well, it's 3 degrees outside today. Not particularly. When I sit here, I can't see the top of my instruments, which is stupid. You can adjust, you can toggle through a lot of different settings on this one, going through it how you want it. Oh, I like this one, just black and just clean. Here you have your buttons for your lights, all soft touch buttons, and your traction control of your lifting kit for the air suspension here. And there's probably some comfort settings here, I would imagine. Sport, the Sport Plus. Yeah, okay. And here are your drive modes. You have 5 of them. Sport Plus, goes gravel, range, normal, Sport, and Sport Plus. And it's firm, but it's never crashy, and it's very, very comfortable. Once you get in the car, like I said, there's no space in this car. The front is there, it's a small front, but it's there, unlike in the other Germans. So congratulations to Porsche. Your driving position, your seating position, your support. You can also adjust the lumbar, I think, electrically. Here there's lots of buttons on the seat. I haven't checked what all of them do. And the steering wheel, it feels so good. It's light, it's small, it's yeah. Unlike the fat, thick steering wheels, this one is nice, thin rimmed, and is just a nice size. And the buttons, the few buttons there are, feels very, very good to touch, and very quality plastic buttons. Also, these feels high quality. The only thing is, behind here there's a button for the heated steering wheel, which is A, stupid placement, and B, this, you have to touch this then, and this feels really, really, considering this is a car for 1.5 million Norwegian kroner, or around 140,000 euros or something, I kind of, no, I'm sorry, but it has to do better than that. But other than that, everything else there is really a lot of things to learn about this car. The multi-screen layout is, I'm not a big fan of it. I want to have a big tactile button or a knob for the climate control. I know Porsche can do that brilliantly. As for the seat, you can adjust everything else. You can adjust your thigh support and your lumbar, so it really grips you and holds you in place. It's become a lot more quiet as well than the previous Taycan I drove. I was never particularly impressed by how noisy it was inside, because it really was noisy. This is quiet. And also, when you go through the drive modes, you have a small, it pops up a small menu on the screen, where you can put it in normal, and then you can have the suspension in sport, for instance, and you can also turn off and on the noise, the fake noise here. It has a sport noise, and I can turn it on for you. Let's see. Go to sport. We can put the noise. You can hear there. It has of those things. You can turn that on and off on that pop-up menu. Very nice, very practical. Is this bus gonna go anywhere? Yes, it is. And even if this touchscreen is the biggest in the world, it's kind of easy to reach, and it's not really a big problem to use it while driving. You're not supposed to use it too much, but to navigate around, it's fairly easy to find your way around it. So it's definitely not far from the worst screen in the world. And also the touch buttons that surrounds the driver instrument cluster is okay. I wish it was buttons, but it isn't. The only physical button in the car, I think, apart from the windows, of which there are 4, listen to VW, and there's also stalks in this car, including for the adaptive cruise. But they're easy to reach, they're easy to use. They have this old-fashioned green button light, which is fun, I think. Oh, it's a wide car. It's surprisingly easy to navigate though, because you can see the fenders on it. You on each side of the flared kind of 911 like. The only thing I know why Porsche did it, but again, I want, as a selection, I want to be able to give me regen on the throttle pedal. Here I can't. Maybe there is an option for it, but I don't think it's there, and if it's there, I think it's not particularly good. All the regen is on the brake pedal, so this kind of, each pedal has its function and it's very distinct, and I understand that perfectly well, but I just kind of wish I could have the control on one pedal. Also, the on-off button is on the left side of the steering wheel, for obvious reasons. It's a Porsche. And also the key is kind of cool. It's shaped a bit like the car. Another thing I forgot to mention when the air vents in the front here is just these 2 square openings with kind of a plasticky bit in the middle, and when you kind of grab it, it feels really cheap and kind of not flimsy, but a bit flimsy. So you're sort of constantly afraid it's going to break. I know you can't move them; you have to move them digitally on the small climate control screen, but or auxiliary screen or whatever you call it. But I just wish they could have done something more with that. It's an expensive car. Porsche could have used. Maybe they could have used actual metal there. I could have done it in another way. Give it an even better feel of quality, because everything else here feels really, really nice. Yes, I complain there's no space in it, and there really isn't, considering the size of the thing. But it's well put together and everything feels good. It has a slightly different front. They've pulled the headlights more outwards, and it doesn't have this curved flange, or whatever you call it, over the headlights like the old one did. I miss the old front. I think it looked even more elegant than this one, but it's still a beautiful car. I don't use the word beautiful very often, but this really is elegant. It's elegant, it's classy, it's undoubtedly a Porsche, but it's not too much. It's not like some Audis and BMWs and other cars that are just too much. It's just too aggressive and too pointy and too much aero. It's just right. It's just boom. It'll look just as good in 50 years time, and you go back and you'll see, oh my god, the Porsche Taycan, that was such an elegant car. That's how I read it. Is it the most energy efficient car in the world? No, probably not. But it's a charging monster. These things charge at, I don't know what it is, 300 kilowatt or maybe something like that, maybe even more. And they have a charging curve like a few. There's a handful of cars that can beat this one. And it's not maybe the Xpeng and the Lotus. I think actually that's it, and a few other new Chinese cars, which are crazy, mad, mentalist 5 and 6C charging cars, which are just crazy, but not much else. So even though it doesn't have that, it is a big battery, it's a 90 or 95 kilowatt hours or something like that. It's a car that starts at 100 and, I don't know what the Taycan range starts at these days. I think it's around 100,000 euros and upwards. And the crazy mad, well above 1,000 horsepower Taycan GT Weissach package 2-seater mad car. It is what that's what it is. It's what, 250,000 euros or something like that. I think it's a plaid competitor. So yeah, when you finish fiddling with all the buttons on the seat, and you got your side bolster set just so, and your thigh support and all of that, you really can begin to enjoy what this car can offer. It's very difficult, this kind of weather. We have had now many days of very, very cold weather, so the ground is cold, and then we have degrees in the plus, above Celsius, above freezing, and then everything thaws up, but the ground is still cold, so it freezes from below, which is very dangerous, because like now you don't see it, and then suddenly there's ice in the corner and the car just goes straight ahead. Doesn't matter what you do, you're a passenger and you're gonna crash, and that's really not fun. Look at the headlights. You don't maybe not see it that good, but when you see all the strange things these modern headlights can do, they go narrow, they go wide, they move, they full LED matrix. Then you begin to understand how incredibly complex these things are. They're basically full of compute. And what a set of lights this car have. They're really good. They're wide, they're long distance. It's like you thunder down here. Sadly the weather is bad, but you can cruise down at a relatively steady pace. Not go mad, of course, because in case of the rain and the cold and stuff. But it's planted, it's secure, it's safe, it's relatively quiet. Good morning. It's 7 in the morning. Yes, I get up very early sometimes. But that's what you do when you have a Porsche. I put it side by side with the Boxster last night, and yeah, they're similar, but this one is so much different. It's a really wide car. Done some math on it, and you can 300, 400 kilometers easily, probably even more. You know, I got the consumption down to 251, so 251, split that up on 90 kilowatt hours of battery. You know, yeah, you end up at around 400, maybe even a bit less, and a bit more, depending on how you drive. The car could have had a comfort mode on the suspension. The normal suspension mode is a little bit too stiff in town. It's a little bit jarring sometimes. It's a nitpick, I know, but you have an air suspension, you can't do that. And there's big wide tires on this. There's 245 20s in the front. I haven't checked the backs, so you know that doesn't help. I'm gonna go and have a charge. I'm gonna have a quick toilet break. And it really is a brilliant car, this. Yes, there's a few cheap bits in the interior, but most of all it feels very good. The dual screen system works very well once you figure out how they thought when they designed it. The opening and closing of the charge port it looks cool, but it's stupid because you get all muddy on your fingers on a day like today. Seating comfort of the car. Seats are a little bit too hard, maybe. They should have been a little bit plusher, but you know, I've spent many hours in this car now. It's not bad, far from it. It's all niggles. All the switches and the stalks feel very, very high quality. They're weighted, and the tactility of them feels just wonderful. There's nothing here that feels just that feels cheap or thrown together. It all has a weight and a tactility to it that's really, really nice and really welcome in a car and in a time that's so digital and everything else. It's gonna be. It would have been a really, really continent-munching, wonderful thing to take down in Europe, for instance, this summer. A big thank you to Porsche Center Fredrikstad for lending me the car. It's fast, it's really fun to drive, it's relatively comfortable, it's fairly quiet. It rides on big fat tires, of course. The instrumentation is so adaptable that you can find anything that you wanted, how you like it. I found mine, and also you have a battery readout and stuff if you want it, a battery temperature readout, that's wonderful. It's not the most nerdy car in the amount of data you get out of it, but you get what you need, you find what you need, and it's fairly easy to find your way around the infotainment system. The back seat it's not spacious as such, but you can fit 4 adults in here and you sit fairly comfortable. So all in all, it's not a cheap car, it's a really expensive thing. But it feels good, it looks good, it's just solid all the way around. Just had a short blast now down the same road that I tested the Model 3 Performance. And when you drive down one way, you test the conditions, and then you figure out, okay, it's not ice anywhere, and you build confidence. And I wasn't even close to push anything, but it's just it's a big heavy car. This, I'm not sure of the curb weight, 2.3, 2.4 tons, I would imagine. And then you can sort of sense the Model 3 Performance is 500-600 kilos lighter. You can and it's smaller, and that's in its favor, definitely. But this thing builds confidence so well, and this is just the basic. I think maybe it's one of the cheaper models in the lineup, and yet it's so fast. It builds speed so quickly. Where are you going to use the turbo apart from maybe on the autobahn and the track and the crazy GT 1100 horsepower thing? You don't really, I know I always say this, but you really don't need more than this. It's 500 horses on, I don't know, 600-700 newtons or something like that. It's just fabulous, and it's such a great drive. And the more you live with it, the more you realize that, yeah, okay, they should have had a knob for their conditioning system, and they should have had climate vents that you could actually adjust with adjustment on the screen. It works, but it's not nearly as good as in a Model 3. And then you change some of the conditions you can put it in, and then everything changes again, and it's just a mess. But hey, I'm warm, I'm comfortable, and it charges fast. I didn't get Ionity charger to work, sadly. It worked with the EV Association's app. It just timed out. So I went to a Tesla V2 charger. Wasn't the fastest experience in the world, but hey, I had a toilet visit and got a coffee and some snacks, and by the time I was done with that, well, you know, you had 50%, you can move on again. So that's probably just me having a bad experience with the Ionity network most of the time. I know they're decently good uptime, and I don't know where the problem is. I don't know if it had helped if I had the tag, the RFID tag or not. Maybe that would have so yeah, it is what it is. But hey, this is a charging monster. This is and with the added practicality of the wagon design, you know, you get actual decent space as well. I think that's it. There's nothing more to add really. I'm gonna just enjoy the last hour I have in the car. So hope you found the video enjoyable. Thank you for watching, and take care out there, and I will see you in another car next time. Goodbye.